Hey guys, welcome. My name is George Nassa. Today, what I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make a wedding band and put initials on top of a name. So we're going to go something I created. I'm working on actual Autodesk Artcam Premium 2018. I don't know if you guys downloaded the upgrade yet, but it's the same thing with a few extra features I like. So we're going to go to the model, create rotary axis here. So we're going to make sure right here we're going to do initial ring, or let's call this a band. And American, let's go do a size 10. And this is the width and the border. You could change these as you go. So these are the defaults. Okay, so this is our page. So we're gonna do a simple thing. We're gonna do either draw a box, or we're just gonna go here. So this is the height. I want it like 7 mm. The width's the same. Create and cancel. Select the vector F9 to center. We're gonna press F12 while the vector is selected, and we're gonna raise it. Let's look at it in 3D. Okay, so we're gonna give it a start height of 2 mm, and we're gonna apply and cancel. Okay, so you can see this is the wedding band. Very simple. We're gonna put. I'm gonna show you two different things. So let's look at it here as we turn this here on. So this is your text here. Okay, create text, and you got different options you can come up with this. So let's see if they will be here. So when this shuts down here, right click on it, you'll be able to see all the different things here. You'll be able to see them. They'll come up here if they're ever hitting. Okay, so these are the options for the text. So you get the different fonts, okay, and then you get the different size. So when you click on the font, it's right here, and it gives you the actual which way you want to go and so forth. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's go here. Let's create this here by clicking. So let's see how it's typing it. This the cursor is going out. So let's fix it. Okay, let's do this. Keep it in the point, but that's going the wrong direction. So these are different fonts here. Alright, so let's do this again. Click here. There you go. So we're gonna type here. Answer. Let's make this cap. Okay. So now here's the name. We're gonna press F9 to center it. If you press T, you'll be able to adjust it any way you want. You can go to the width and so forth. Press F9. Now we could either raise this on top or we can punch it through. On a ring like this, that's only a wedding band. Turn this on. You probably want to punch it through because you don't want it to sit on top because it'd be very hard to polish. Okay, so let's select this, and if you press F12 or you press just the 0 here, okay, so inside 0 this, you can see punch the name right through it. Okay, it's very simple, right? So that looks pretty cool. So if you just want to do something like this, you punch the initial and you just polish it. But the only few things you probably have to work on is like maybe fix this. So if you want to add a little bit here, you could do that. So I'm going to Control Z, okay, get rid of that. So I'm going to work with colors. I could take this name here and I could fill it, flood fill here. Any color you want, make sure this is shut off so you can see the colors. So let's make this red. So you could work with colors and you could do the same thing. Okay, so if you double click here, okay, you'll be able to actually zero this all the way through. Or you could actually zero behind color. So you see this tool here, it says zero under color. So you could zero that by selecting the red. So that'll punch it through as well. Okay, so let's Control Z. And let's go zero under color by selecting the color. It's right here. And you go in here, make sure that's selected. So that punches it through by using colors. So Control Z, that puts us back to 0 plane. So I'm going to get rid of the color. We still have our wedding band. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to offset it inward, or we could just draw another line. So we're going to draw this box here, inside, all the way out. Make sure you're outside the white. Okay, and F9 to center it. Make sure this is F9 as well. So everything's F9. So if you select them all, make sure they're all dead center. We're going to sink this down, or we could, I'm going to show you two options. You could sink it down, F12, Okay, we're going to go below that, so we're going to subtract the start height, so 0.50. Okay, see how that's raised it? We don't want that, we want to subtract it. So that gave us an edge all the way down. So let's say apply, and that gives us an edge all the way around. So you could actually put your name on there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to turn this back on. We're going to take this name, press F12, and if you bring this cursor here, you bring it here, you'll be able to read on the bottom here. It tells you the measurements here, the Z. Now watch the Z on the bottom. It says 2 millimeters. Here, watch this area here. So we could go higher, but I want it 2 millimeter, so it's exactly even with it. So I'm going to do start height 2, okay? And I want to make sure merge high. So now it's the same exact height as the ring. See that? Now you could add texture in the background, so you could, this name could pop. Thus, you don't have to polish it. Okay, so you just polish it, and that's it, and leave this all textured here, because you don't want to polish it inside here. But instead of seeing all this here, there's another option. So we're gonna go Control Z. We're gonna go back a few steps. Okay. We're gonna go back to our band, and we're gonna take this here box. Forget it. We don't need it. We can just get rid of it. And we're gonna draw a box just around the name. Okay. And F12. I'm sorry, F9. So you can adjust this any way you want. Press N for node. Bring this in a little bit. You could insert a node here. You could insert a node here. You could bring this out to give it a little bit of design. Bring this out to give it a little bit of design. You could bring this here. See how the tail? Press A for arc. Press A for arc. To A for arc. A for arc. So now it looks a little bit different. Okay. I would select it again. Press F9 just so it's perfectly centered. Press this name. Make it. It might look centered to the computer, but not to the naked eye. So you could actually adjust it a little bit by selecting it and nudging it until it looks good to you. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is sticking out a little bit here, so we're going to make this a little bit smaller. Press T. So bring this in just to here on both sides. Okay, so now we're inside. Okay, so here, F9. So I'm going to select just that. Press F12 while you select the vector and subtract it 0.50. You can see it subtracted that, just that area. Apply. Now what we're going to do, we're going to select the name, right, and press F12, and we're going to raise that. Remember, we had 2 millimeter height, so we're going to do 2 millimeter, but we don't want it in there punched in. We want to merge high. Okay, let's shut this guy. So that's up. Apply, and now it's even. You see it? Now you could raise it any way you want, and so forth. All right, so that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to texture just this area here. So I'm going to take this first. I'm going to go shut this here. Go to my colors and flood fill it. Then I'm going to flood fill this here. Any color you want. We might have to go back and refill this one. So here, right? Doesn't matter which color. So do the background first, then the inside. Because we only want a texture here, so you need them 2 colors. Don't make them the same color. Because when you say texture, it's going to texture everything if you're working with colors. But that way, you could do vectors. But the problem is it's easier with colors. Because if you select vectors, it's going to do everything. So let's just do just the colors. So make sure the purple is here. By selecting it, make sure that switches. And we're going to go to texture. So let's go to the texture here. And we're going to pick a different style. So this is where here you don't need a size of 5 millimeter. That's huge. So 0.20, so as small as you want. See height, you don't want it that high. Maybe 0.10, and you always want to add. Okay. So let's this here, and let's say preview. See what that looks like. Okay. So apply. See how something went wrong because what happened? We only selected. See right here, we only selected vector. We didn't say select color. Okay, so Control Z and make sure selected color. See the little things that you miss, even though after using it for so many years, I still miss the little steps. Apply. So only textured the background. Okay, so I'm happy with that. You can see how nice that looks. Okay, so that's how you add a name on top and texture the background. So it's very important you always select the color, which is the purple. Okay, or whatever color. It doesn't have to be purple. We could have made this any color, but as long as you separate the two colors, the name from the background. Okay, guys, now we're gonna export it as an actual to the mesh. We're gonna export it as an STL file and APS file or ESP file. Okay, so we're gonna close it with a flat plane and create. We're gonna add it to the model. That's okay. So close here, open this. You can see under the assembly, this is our model here. Okay, the one that's highlighted. So we have two options. We're gonna export. We're gonna right click on the actual band here, or the whole assembly as long as you're only showing this, and you say export. And that's how you send it to the printer. If somebody wants to, he needs it in STL file. So that's how you STL file. Okay, so whatever files they accept, or you could do 3DA file. Okay, but most of them accept the actual STL file. This is a much smaller file. Okay, so this way you could export any way you want, and you could email it to somebody. So now if somebody wants just to export just the vector, if you highlight just the vectors that you want by holding the shift key down, okay, let's select these guys here, and you go under vectors and you have the word export, and you can see them EPS file. This is what people want if they Corel Drive or I'm sorry, Corel Draw and things like that. People want to draw and fill in their own colors. If you're making logos and so, um, you can do EPS file here. So you give it a name and you export just the vectors. Okay. So just because some people say, hey, can you send me just that file? I just want the vector file. So make sure you select it. You go under vectors and you export that. And there's your option. They need an EPS file here. Okay. So cancel. And that's it, pretty much. That concludes our tutorial. I'll try to make another tutorial soon. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.